Alrighty guys, hi, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day today. As always, if you're new or returning and you haven't yet already, please be sure you're subscribed to the channel. If you like it, give it a big thumbs up. And if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them down below. I will try my best to see you all there. Today is going to be a couple of topics that have been ongoing for about a week or two. Really, one topic has been ongoing for a couple of years, but have resurfaced recently. And I've talked about James Charles and Sanders Kennedy as things have gone on since I've had my YouTube channel. And the issues that I've talked about have resurfaced, and with Sanders coming back, a lot of people are still questioning his motives and everything, and allegations, and James Charles even acknowledging some of his inappropriate interactions with his fans. Now, there's been other dramas happening on the platform with other larger creators that I'm not fully informed about yet, that I'm still looking into to see if I want to cover them. That's issues like Dobrick. A lot of stuff has been coming out about him, and people who have been close to him kind of inadvertently kind of exposing him and how he is, and kind of breaking the facade that he's portrayed for so long. So I'm still diving into that because there's so much going on with that. But one of the things that I wanted to talk about, and I just wanted to make sure I was coming at it like as level-headed as I can, is the James Charles stuff. I know almost everybody who was going to cover this has already covered it and has talked about it pretty much in length. People are, showing the DMs and showing the different apologies and showing how his tweets where he's acknowledged things. I'm not intending on doing any of that in this video. I really just want to sit down and talk about it, because what all of these issues boil down to for me is it is all an abuse of power by these creators. No matter how small or how mediocre or large a creator's platform is, you are a creator. You are putting people who are consuming your content, you hold a level of responsibility. Once you have built any kind of rapport with your audience, you automatically are gaining a sense of power. Whether you utilize that or you invoke that kind of power is one thing. But what I see with a lot of these creators who ends up being exposed or ends up engaging in really inappropriate or disgusting behavior often go unnoticed or unexposed, so to speak, for a while, because people are afraid to speak out due to the power imbalance that is there. This has been an ongoing issue. There's other creators who talk about this issue, but it is happening more and more frequently as survivors of these inappropriate actions or inappropriate conduct occurring, whether it's behind the scenes or even on camera sometimes, like in situation with Dobrick, things that are being surfaced. There's stuff that's happening in front of our eyes, but we look past it because it's written off as a joke, or it's written off as, oh, you don't take that person seriously. But when you really step back and you analyze the situation and what was actually going on, yeah, in the moment you may have overlooked it and might have even found it funny at the time, but now looking back at it from an adult's perspective, you're probably questioning it. And that's the thing with these people who end up in these constant controversies and things like that. They typically have younger audiences. Their audiences are minors, and some of them are attracting minors intentionally to their channel based off of the prankster style videos or how they converse with their audience. Like James Charles, although he's a grown man, he may be on the younger side of being a grown man. He's still a grown man, and he very much emulates immaturity. And I don't mean that in a bad way. Clearly he's a great businessman. He has done well for himself and his family, but he is very immature. If you watch his content at all, it is very immature, and I think he does that to continue to bring in a young audience. I think people who reach a certain age and threshold of their maturity, they kind of can't stand to watch content like that because it's annoying, it irks them for some reason, and maybe you can't pinpoint it. And I think it really is a maturity issue. That is what I had to realize. I've never really consumed James Charles content, and I was watching some of it recently to kind of really grasp where I felt with this creator. And honestly, I think it's a maturity issue. I also think, you know, because he portrays this young, you know, teenage-like persona, of course it attracts young people. And James Charles, for the past couple of years, consistently is brought into the controversy of him being inappropriate and having inappropriate conversations and interactions with fans, with people in the public, with people who just maybe are wanting a come up and they reach out to him. It's been ongoing, and he's always been able to apologize, kind of deal with a little bit of backlash, and then he recovers from it. And then I feel like it's almost been on a year cycle, another person comes out and has all of these allegations. And what is frustrating is some of these people who have come out have been doing it to get attention. They haven't been 100% honest in their stories, which has allowed James Charles to go unchecked for a while. However, in this most recent time, we have had several different underage individuals with legitimate proof being shown that James had to have known that they were underage. And even James acknowledging the fact that he has had conversations. He did this last summer. He acknowledged he was having a conversation with an underage individual. And in a video I did last summer in relation to the TikToker then who had come out was, why at his status is he not verifying these people's ages before he talks to them? None of these individuals that have came out and like talked about kind of being preyed upon almost, or being led on and convinced into like having these conversations that are sexually charged, he never asks them, or if he does, he just says, oh, he assumed, or oh, they said. When he is in a position of power like he is, they may be afraid to tell him the truth. But he also needs to understand, since he continues to be in these controversies, like, hey, maybe I should cover my butt and actually ask for identification. Literally just ask somebody to take a picture of their ID. They can block out their address or their location type information, but be able to provide him legitimacy that they are of an age where it's appropriate for him to be talking to. Along with that, what is shocking is, although these allegations have come out, and although James has acknowledged that yes, he has had these conversations, and he's tried to brush them under the rug and give excuse after excuse after excuse for why he has had these conversations, he is still being sponsored by major companies. He is still being promoted by Teen Choice Awards. He is still being pushed out into the public eye for these young people to idolize. And then we have him being exposed for being inappropriate with minors. The fact that people and companies are not taking into account that, you know, it may be something coming out online and it's not proven, they should still want to take that into account when the person who is being accused is actually acknowledging, because at this point he has acknowledged that he was having conversations with underage people. He's acknowledged that he was having a conversation with this person and lied about knowing their age, but backtracking like other people have done and showing receipts like other people have done. There's no way he didn't know that this person was of an underage. To me, all of this boils down to it's inappropriate. James Charles should have been held accountable and really should have changed how he wants to get into a relationship or how he wants to do his romantic life. He really should have reevaluated it when everything was brought out, because since everything was brought out during the Dramageddon stuff, people were accusing and addressing the situation there. Then he should have really taken into account everything that was being said, and although maybe not everything at that point was true, it's hard to not wonder if some of the stuff that was being said was based in actuality, because current day he's acknowledging the fact that he's been inappropriate and that he's had these conversations with his fans, which turns into a power dynamic issue. And these creators are aware of that. Like, when you have a platform of any size, I am very careful with the kind of conversations I have with a supporter, whether it's on a live stream or if they reach out to me to talk to me. I keep it very professional because I'm aware that there could be a power imbalance. Although my audience is typically around my age, if not older than me, I still know that I have a platform. And they respect me to some degree, or at least I'm assuming I am respected to some degree. I'm not going to abuse and use my power in any way. The same thing happens with like the David Dobrick stuff, like I was saying, with people just brushing by how he has put on this persona, but really, you know, it was overlooked. It was in plain sight, but it was overlooked because of the persona he puts forward. And then moving on to, of course, there is a lot more that we could deep dive into the James Charles situation. I have a lot more opinions about it, but I do want to keep everything kind of concise in this a shorter video. If you guys want to have me go more in depth with the James Charles stuff, let me know in the comment section. I have a lot more opinions, and I have some of the receipts that other people have pulled, but I don't want to regurgitate the same information and the same receipts everybody has seen before. I hope that makes sense. But I did really want to talk about that. I also really wanted to talk about Sanders Kennedy and his comeback. You know, he made a video addressing the fact that he was coming back, but he didn't address anything. Instead, the video was very much, I was gone, kind of said he was gone for family reasons and to recenter himself, and that he wasn't going to explain himself, and gave himself a whole lot of excuses, and, you know, was talking about how he amassed 20,000 subscribers just before he had left, and talking about how he felt, or how he has been asked that there was a change in how he was acting because there was a common disdain for a fellow creator, which could be the truth, but I don't understand why in the video he addresses how, you know, he used to criticize other people's comeback videos and apology videos, but he couldn't even really address his wrongdoings to move forward. And I think he's planning, like, clearly he wants to move forward, and as he should, but he's going to continue to have people question his motives and if what he's saying is legitimate, because he's not ever really addressed everything that happened for him to be pushed off the internet. And I have said before, when this happened and Sanders fell off the internet, this isn't the first time he has done this. I'm not sure when exactly it was. It was when John Cookian and that drama was happening within the beauty community and the beauty commentary channels. Sanders Kennedy had done something very similar. I can't remember exactly what it was, and I've tried to find the video and I can't. But he had overstepped during that scenario, everything going on with John Cookian and that dramas that was occurring, to where he left the internet for a long period of time, just like he has now, and he came back with a very similar video then, saying he was going to change how he did his content, how he wasn't going to be as emotional, how he wasn't going to get as, you know, enveloped in a story or a case. And as humans, we make mistakes and things happen. However, a part of, I think, being able to continue to grow and continue to show your audience that you are changing and moving on and you want to put it to rest, you just have to really address it. And he kind of says that, but he skates around the fact and says he already did. I know he made an apology video, but did that not get deleted? Like, we really don't have anything where he's actually addressed everything that happened to allow people to have the answers, to be able to move on and to not be able to question him. Because his comeback really was a 15-minute video of the same stuff being repeated. And I understand people needing a break. I get it. We all need a break. And when you start to pump out too much and you get too invested, you do need to take a step back. I 100% agree with that. But I think this is almost, again, a power move, just to like say, hey guys, I'm here, I'm back, I'm going to be creating content. Like, I don't know, I really don't know, because I've never been in that position, like how creators really can come back from stuff like that. Like, how should they come back? What would be the right way? In my opinion, addressing everything when you have a controversy the size that he had, to the scale he did, because it included law enforcement, or allegedly included law enforcement, I should say, that you address why you did it, or why you took the steps that you took, and explain where you were coming from, because then people are really going to, you're still going to get criticized one way or another, but at least your true fans that you say you were there for would really know what your intentions were, and could maybe put themselves in your understanding and be able to at least come to terms with it. Maybe not agree with it, maybe not rationalize with it, but come to terms with it so that they can move on and continue to grow with you. I don't understand the video and why and how it was worded, and things that were mentioned seemed that they were out of left field, and he was just trying to like make sure he said his 2 cents about the one thing, like a couple of things, just to make sure that he mentioned it. I don't know 100% how I feel. I mean, I'm always happy when a content creator comes back. I just always want to make sure that we're all holding each other accountable, and we're all being the best versions of ourselves that we can be. And personally, I feel if you have a controversy, or you end up in an issue, or you end up being exposed for anything, that you just address it head on as an adult, and allow the audience to make up their mind. At the end of the day, it's up to the audience. It's up to you guys if you want to remain subscribed to somebody or not, or if you want to be a member of their channel or not, or if you want to, engage with the chats or not. It's all of those decisions are up to you guys. And I feel in current day, with this power dynamic that creators know they have, and they do manipulate their audiences way too often intentionally, and it really does go unnoticed. And what's more scary is when we have creators like James Charles, like David Dobrick, who are at these large scaled channels, who are intentionally reaching young audiences and don't always have the best message at heart. I hope I feel like I'm struggling to really like come across my issue here with this power imbalance. And at the end of the day, the goal here in me making this video was not only to address and talk about some of my opinions about things that have been going on, but it's to also like just kind of be heedance to everybody, to be aware that there is an imbalance when it comes to creators and viewers. Some creators really don't care about it, and they're not trying to invoke that power, but others are. Others are manipulating and gaslighting their audiences on a daily basis. And YouTube can be a business for people, and that's how some people operate their channels, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But when they start taking advantage, or they start lying, or they start doing things that are not moral or ethical, it is not like, subscribers and viewers should not feel that they can't mention it, or that they can't point it out, because that is criticism. And although it can appear negative, it's actually pretty much constructive criticism when you're noticing somebody is taking advantage of you or others, to acknowledge it. Whether that's in a DM to the creator, or if it's in the comment section, or if you feel you need to reach out and talk to somebody, we all have a voice, whether you're a viewer or a creator. I'm a viewer of YouTube as much as I am a creator. So I know at times I have not really acknowledged the power imbalance, and I have been taken advantage of as a viewer before I had my channel, and even since I've had my channel. When I was newer and I was kind of naive to how YouTube works, I just want that to be known to people. Like, please just make sure that if you're feeling off, go with your gut feeling. It doesn't mean that you don't like that creator. It doesn't mean that you don't have to support that creator. It just really means that we need to be aware of what we're consuming and who we're consuming and what their overall message is, and if there's anything with negative intention behind it. You know, a lot of people have pulled away from Jeffree Star after all of these years of his awful behavior being acknowledged, because they're seeing it. They are now experiencing the negative behaviors that people have been calling out and like trying to bring attention to for years. People are seeing that because of how he interacts with them and how he maybe talks to them on Twitter. So I just really want this as a warning, and just for people to be aware, to allow their time on the internet to be a safe space, because the internet can be very dangerous and it can be a very scary space if you are not aware and if you don't have your guard up. It doesn't mean you can't engage with creators or with creator chats. It just means to be wary, especially if you're an adult and you have the tools to, you know, critical think and think logically about stuff. If stuff doesn't make sense to you, you can always do your own research, or you can, I always implore people to make sure you're getting opinions from all sides. Even if it irks you to hear an opposing argument from maybe where you sit, it can help you understand the overall conversation that's being had. So with all of that being said, I hope my points come across clear. I hope everything I was intending makes sense. If you guys have any questions or anything that you want me to talk more about in relation to any of these creators, please let me know. Or if there's any other YouTube creators or dramas that are going on that you'd like to hear my opinion on, just drop it down in the comment section. Otherwise, I hope you have a good day, evening, or night, wherever you are, and until next time, bye guys.